Hi, I'm Garry Jenkins, and welcome to the Beauty of Oil Painting. Today, we're going to paint my favorite, the rose, but we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to paint this painting very loose and very free. Let's look at the painting that I worked up in advance for you guys, that I'll be working from. You can see how loose and free. Look at the reds, and look how loose this flower is, and we got little stuff happening, and just sort of an impression of leaves, a little flower over here, and beautiful stuff down here. We're going to play with color today. I have a little sketch on here just showing where the vase is, and I have some acrylic already on here. This is burnt sienna and a touch of green and a kind of a wash of sienna thinned down with water, and it's acrylic. And it's dry, and I put some linseed on here so my paint will spread around. Let's come on down. We're going to start with some black and white. We're going to start with just a gray tone on here. We'll get this vase going. Remember, this is going to be very loose, very colorful. Let's take a little my favorite color, purple, and we're going to put some of that in here. You know, way back 300 years ago, when purple was first invented by accident by a scientist, it was so expensive that only royalty could have all this purple clothes. All the peasants had beiges and browns and all that. So that's kind of a little neat thing to know. I love purple. Here we have some dark going in. We're going to get a little, now this is loosey-goosey. A little dark in here. That's pretty dark. We're going to come in. Whoa, we're going to take a little, let's take a little orange, and we're going to throw some of that in here and mix it in. Notice the strokes, kind of up and down, aren't they? And let it mix a little bit, but don't over mix. I'm going to take some white. I use titanium white, which is the whitest white out there. Very dry because there's linseed on the canvas, and letting these strokes flow along. Now this is important, you guys out there. Watch how I stroke this. Bump, bump. Leave some stroke showing. Don't just stroke it and then work it in. Now watch how I do this. Here I have orange. Look at how I just put it on, bump, 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 and leave it. Let's take some cad red light. Beautiful red. I'm going to throw some of the yowie. I know, it's pretty bright. And it's supposed to be. Let's take some orange with that. Let's throw that in there. Let's take some yellow and throw that in there. Not bright enough. I want it on fire. And then we'll take, let's take some crimson and put some of that in there. Listen to the little voice that talks to you. It says, do this, do that. It's usually right. Let's take some white and a touch of yellow and put some of that in here. Ba-bum. And leave it. And then boom, bam, bam, bam. Put it in, honey. Let it happen. Let's set that vase down. Let's take some mauve and black. And we're going to come in here underneath. Now we'll slow down a little because it gets a little spooky going around the bottom of that vase. And we'll pull that out. Maybe on the other side we have a little, my favorite color, mauve. And we'll throw some of that on the other side. Boy, I cut right into that vase, didn't I? Well, we'll straighten that up. Yeah. Now the camera is at an angle. So what it's going to do is going to throw the bottom of my pot off a little bit. If I were to turn it this way, you can see how it straightens out. So please forgive. So just remember, it's not crooked, it's just the angle of the camera. Okay, let's come in and see. This is a vignette. It means that everything is just loose and free. Now, let's take our weight. I'm down here, and people say, well, how do you know what colors to put on? I really don't. It's just an intuitive feeling of color. Well, let's put this in and see how it looks. Let's put that in, see how it looks. And just paint that way. Don't be afraid of color. Floral painting is all color, color. Let's put this down in here. Don't mix everything. Well, maybe we'll mix that a little bit. Yes. Remember, this is a vignette. We can let some of the color from the background show through. And let's come on up. We're going to take some chrome oxide green. And maybe we'll throw some of that in. Why should the Impressionists have all the fun? Sap green. People say, oh, we love Renoir. We love the way he worked and the looseness and the freedom. Okay, well, we can do that. Watch it. Watch the strokes. Here's what you guys do at home. You get in one spot, and you stroke, and you stroke, and pretty soon, and you go to sleep. Because there's no excitement in your painting. If you're not excited about what you're doing, people viewing your paintings will not be excited either. Look at that color. Throw it on. Play. Have fun. Don't worry about screwing up. Who cares? Because if you're worried about messing up, you're going to be putting handcuffs on yourself. Oh, I'm afraid to do that. Oh, it might look bad. Who cares? Let it look bad. It's the learning experience that's important. It's the journey through the painting. You can't lose. You can't lose because everything is a learning experience. So your painting turns out crummy. All right, fine, but did you learn anything? Yeah, I learned not to do this and learned not to do that. Well, then it was not a bad experience. How are we doing? Look at that color. Boom, 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 boom. Now, we cannot just have color. We have to have something that maybe we can hang our hat on. Maybe we'll just sort of pick up a little dark green and maybe indicate. I'm not painting leaf, leaf, leaf. It's shorthand painting. It's painting in shorthand. Look at that. You can say so much more with just a few little strokes. Canvas is making noise up here. It's saying, I love you, I love you. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Can you see it happening? And then, because we have so many little strokes up here, watch what happens when you go into this area and we put a stem in. And we put a stem in here, and a stem in here, and a stem in here. All of a sudden, that makes sense because I just put a couple stems in. Here, maybe a couple leaves. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Play, play. Look at that color. Look at that. Look at this. Look, notice the brush, how it's moving. It's not going in one direction. I'm going all over the place, and most of the strokes are curvy strokes. Boom, boom, boom. Leaf, 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 leaf. Boom, 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 boom. Hit that sucker. Get into it. Oh, look at that cool color. What would blue? Say, ask yourself, what would blue do? Well, let's see. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I love it. 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 Boom. Do it and paint fast. Don't paint slow. If you paint slow, you try to analyze everything you're doing, and you choke up. Do it. Your brain will keep up with you. Don't worry about that. Let's put in a nice, loose flower. I know, this is crazy stuff. CAD red light. You have to learn to paint all kinds of different stuff. But you learn to paint loose. You can learn to paint tight so that you have a variety of techniques at your disposal. Yeah. Now here I'm just blocking in some color. Nice, rich, dark color. Then I'm going to come down, phthalo red rose and white. I'm going to come up here and just pick out, well, not dark enough. Well, that's kind of cool, but let's get it a little lighter. Yes, yes, Now, remember, I'm just painting a feeling of a rose. I just want a feeling of it. Maybe around the back. You see? You see? You see? Look at that. What have I done? Hardly anything. Sketch flowers as much as you can, so that when you come up here, you don't need a lot of strokes to say rose. But how do you know what to do if you guys don't draw? Nobody wants to draw anymore. Crimson. Oh boy, there's a dark color for you. I'm going to put that right in there. Yes. I'm going to, watch this. Now watch this rose grow. I've got crimson in the middle. And as I come out, notice how I'm coming out. And how it's starting to look like a rose already. I'm going to darken it up a little more. Look. Can you see it happening? You can do that if you just don't get in there and start nagging your flowers. Nag, 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 nag. Pedal, 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 nag, nag. Don't do that. Now, the more you paint, the more you'll find that you need less strokes to say what you want to say. Because you're going to get in and get out. Now, it gets a little loosey. This one, here I am painting loose, and I'm going, and you're going, hey, Harry, this guy on TV, he's trying to paint a rose, and it's so loose, it's falling apart. Let's come in here and take a little more of this white. Let's take a little yellow and put with it. And we're going to kind of pull this flower together, maybe show a few. Now, if you show a few petals, you see how showing a few, the eye will read this as being petals, and it will say, okay, well, the others must be that, the same thing. So this is how you do very loose impressionistic. It's not so loosey-goosey impressionistic that it's falling apart, but there's just enough showing petal work to say rose without getting in and finishing it all up. And I prefer to paint this way. I think this says rose so much more than if you try to show everything, because if you try to show all the petals, the rose, it loses its mystery. It loses its softness. We say too much. It's like somebody, you ever meet somebody that just talks and he won't shut up? Same with painting roses. You should have stopped stroking that rose half hour ago. It looked great when you just laid it in. You were excited, you put it in, but you went too far with it. Just paint until that flower says rose, and then get back out. Now here's leaves, but I'm mumbling. I'm not saying here's leaves. I'm saying here's leaves. Not leaves, but leaves, okay? Mumble. Now, if you were driving, say you were driving in a car, and there was a field of flowers out the window, and there were yellow flowers and red flowers and pink. What we're painting is if you just looked out the window and glanced at them and looked away, that's what we're putting up here. Just a feeling of the flowers. When it looks good, and if that looks good, and that looks good to me, and of course I don't have my glasses on. Everything looks good to me when I don't have my glasses on, but it looks pretty good. Put a little sap in there to darken it up. We have another beautiful one over here. Let's come down. Whoop. Keep your colors clean, guys. Keep that brush clean. If we're going to go into a nice pink, make sure there's no green in it, because that would muddy it up. Let's look at this. Now look. Watch how I'm scrubbing that in. Now watch how this rose will pop out. I'm going to put a little crimson in here. Wipe the brush on the towel. Watch me pull it out. Watch me pull it out. Yes, yes, yes. Then on the top part, where the light is hitting, it gets a little lighter. Look at this. Now look, can you see it? Can you see it? That could be finished just like that if we wanted to stop at that point where we just have a rose just kind of there. Yes. I want you guys to set your flowers up. Get some real roses. And just paint, just kind of look at them, look away and paint what you were looking at. And just don't look too much, because we see too much. Too much. It took me years to look at a flower and be able to simplify. Yes. Watch, I want you to see this stroke, because I think you missed it. Watch it go in. You see the strength in that? Bump, 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 bump. You notice how fast I'm putting it in? And when I'm putting it in, I'm rolling the brush so it catches different angles. Hit, I'll slow down, but hit, 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 hit. Maybe stroke that in, maybe stroke that in. Yes, yes. Now look at that guy. Maybe we'll come in and take a touch of crimson, and we're going to find just, an extra little dark, just kind of, yes, yes. Get in and get out. I think so many people, when they paint loose like this, they go, is that okay to paint that loose? Like they need permission? Yes, it's okay. If that flower, what you're putting on there, if it says rose, get in and get out, let's put a stroke on there. Look at that. Let's take our blue. Let's take some blue and white, you guys. Blue and white. Put that in. Boom, boom. Look at that color. Boom, boom, boom. Look at the blue. Don't you love that with the pink? If you get excited about color, then you're on your way to being a painter. You'll look at things with a painter's eye. When you paint, you'll never look at things the same way again, guys. Never. Everything's going to be different. You'll see more color in the sky. You'll see more color in flowers. You'll live a fuller life because you're seeing more. And you'll say to somebody, look at the pink in that sky. They'll think you're a little nuts because they don't see the pink. They just see blue sky. So sometimes you can't even share this with anybody. It's just for you. Look at that. Look at how I'm bringing out some stems. Yeah, that's cool. Bring maybe another stem here. This is why your brush needs to come to this chisel edge. You won't be able to get this cool stuff if your brush doesn't come to a chisel. Now watch how I go up with this. Now, you could use a liner brush, but a liner has a tendency to get wormy. Whereas this, I hit it this way, I hit it that way, I hit it this way and that way, and I get a more realistic vine growing up there. Where's it going? Who knows and who cares? It's just kind of there. We might, finishing up here, boom. Okay, let's come on down and let's get some white. Let's get some stuff going here. Whoa, you might not have missed that. Let's get it back in. Boom, boom. Put it in, put it in. Now, when you put your strokes on there, put it in with some energy. Sometimes, though, you have to, slow down. You move too fast. Look at that. You see some of that little stuff happening. Sometimes you can take the brush and just kind of move it to get some of that wonderful reflections. Do you see it? You see those hard edges? Leave them. We're going to come in, underneath that rose, we'll take a little green and crimson. They're complementing colors, makes a nice dark. I want this rose to pop a little bit more, so I'm going to put a little dark. Sometimes you do have to slow down a little bit. And we'll pull that down a little. Yes. See how it popped that guy out of there? Now here's something way down on the bottom. Let's look at the bottom of that vase. We can see how, you see how hard it is? And remember, the camera's at an angle. That's why this side is up in the air. But we're going to take, that edge is too hard. You see, there's another edge that's too hard. But first, let's take this edge. I know there's mauve getting up into it, but I want to soften this whole bottom. Yes. Now we've got some little strange thing. Just wipe it out. No biggie. There's another place I want to soften it up, and that's right in here. Let that red in. You notice how it softens it? Boom, boom. Remember, this camera's at a slight angle, which is going to throw it off just a little bit. Look, now, why? You tie that in so the vase is married to the bottom. You don't have shadow and vase. We have vase and a nice transition into the beautiful purple on the bottom. Look at that red popping. Let's get it over there. I'm going to come down and pick up some crimson, and I want a nice dark. Now I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to put it in and pull it down. Look at how exciting that color is. Boom, 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 boom. This is what loose painting is all about, guys. As your painting tacks up, you'll be able to go in and add little shots of color. Boom, 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 boom. Let the color, let the paint, take your towel and just wad it up and use that to soften up some of the color on the bottom over in here. And you might have to put your canvas up on the lip. And watch this. Look at this. Look at that beautiful middle tone. It's just like a watercolor. And don't get in and mess too much. Sometimes you might have a wild stroke that you might have to do something with. We might get a clean, plenty of towels, guys. I got a big wad of it over here so that we can keep our towels clean. Yes. Now right here, you can see when I put that white on, how it came up next to that rose. So we're going to bring that flower back over the top just a little bit. Yes, I love that pink. But if we had some of that pink in there, maybe it would be cool to, oh yeah. We're going to find a hint of that pink. Now it's the little stuff. We're going to take phthalo yellow green, a little touch of yellow with it. And we're going to come in here and watch how we'll get little spots of color. Let's put a little white with that, make it really pop. A little shot, there. And we have so much pink in there. Let's take our pink. This is the fun part. Coming back into the painting. Actually, it's what's called the negative space. That's what's happening behind everything. Look at that that could be another flower back there. It could be anything. Who cares? It's just color. Let's take some of this orange and cad red light. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Feel the energy of color. Color has energy. Some colors have no energy. They just kind of sit there and stare at you. Orange. We want to make that a little brighter. Do I use white? No. If we're going to use anything, we come up the color wheel. Boom. Can you see it? Boom. Can you see it? Boom, boom. And you hit it in the same manner that you laid your flower in with. Now, the painting that I'm working from, it has more white up there, but who cares? Because you just want a feeling of the flower, which is more important than matching the color exactly. If it says what you want to say, that's all that's important. Look at it coming in. Look. Keep it loose and free. Maybe in the back you might find just a hint, but not much. We'll get out of that because if we hang around in there too long, the flower will turn on you, as I'm sure many of them have on you that you've painted. Look at that color. Look at this thing. Give me a break. I love painting loose stuff. And let's take right in this area, right in here, we're going to take and put a little, boom. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and don't forget out there on your journey through life to stop and smell the roses along the way. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Het 4e boek van Garry Jenkins is uit. Vol bloemen, dieren en landschappen. Nieuw in deze uitgave is de serie Watervallen. Dit nieuwe boek is verkrijgbaar voor €34,50. Hiermee maakt u ook thuis prachtige schilderijen. Kijk voor bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of teletextpagina 333.